Hello and welcome back to my channel. It's so exciting to get to co-create with you today. I had a change in my schedule at the last minute and I realized I have not been in contact with you in what feels like forever. My schedule has been really, really hectic. So to be honest with you, it takes a lot to do the video, to create the upload and all of that. And, doing my session work and running the mastery school can leave me drained sometimes and not leave much time for anything else, including painting, which I don't really get to do much these days. So I decided that instead of painting, I was going to come on and connect with you because I wanted to talk about the shift that's taking place and how we could better support ourselves and manage that shift, so that we can have a better experience in our reality. Because one of the things that's becoming very, very obvious is the reality split, the separation of dimensions, third dimension to the fourth dimension to the fifth dimension. Okay. And we're seeing it in everything, in all ways. Third dimensions becoming so palpable and so challenging to stay in or connect with. And you see this with people who are feeling very chaotic and not able to manage what's taking place in their life. And perhaps you are still watching TV and you're watching the news. Please don't do that. But if you are, you're seeing everything playing out in the Mideast. You're hearing all the crazy stuff pertaining to our government and maybe the healthcare system and all kinds of information coming out pertaining to COVID in the last 4 years. And it's all the third dimension getting ready to implode on itself, because in these higher frequencies, it just cannot be sustained anymore. It just can't. There is no room for it. And we have to move on from that story as well. So the more we can let go and make peace with what was and look beyond to say, well, what is it that I want to create? What would I like to have happen in my world, in my reality? Then life can become a little bit easier. I could use it with something that happened with myself. I won't get into the details of it, but there's something that I'm needing to do. And the stronger I felt toward needing to do it, the more resistance I was offering it. And so the more I tried um, to create this task or undertaking, what I was noticing is it was pushing back on me and it just wasn't happening. And then I was coming up with one roadblock after the next roadblock after the next roadblock. And it was becoming very frustrating. And all of a sudden I sat down and I thought to myself, I was like, Maria, you are creating all of this. You're creating the resistance to what is. Let go. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. It's going to be better than fine. It's going to be amazing in the end, but you've got to let go because you're blocking this. You're feeding that third dimensional distorted timeline where this all resides, where you don't want to play the game, but you have to kind of play the game to get to that next stage. So last night I just realized I just need to let this go because it's not on my time, it's on the universe's time. And the minute I let go and I make space for what is, it's going to shift. And guess what? This morning, the situation that I was trying to resolve, actually, I received a phone call from that organization. And they called me and they were like, hey, we see that you submitted something here and that you're trying to commence with something, but it's not going through. And the reason it's not going through is because our computer system still needs like 48 hours and do this, this, this. and then clear your cache, and you should be good to go, because from our end, everything looks like it has a green light and it's ready for you and it's good to go. And I just thought, like, how amazing that I got the universe to call me, right? The thing that I needed to do most, the thing that I was feeling the greatest frustration through, actually picked up the phone and called me out of the blue. And this is, if I look at it, in my clarity, this is not something that should have happened. In the normal world, would still be calling them, still, complaining, or, being angry or whatever. But the minute I let it go fully. And I was like, it does not matter, because I know it's going to work out exactly as it's meant to in the end. And it doesn't matter how long it takes. If it takes another month, it's not a problem. It's truly not a problem. It's me that's the problem, because I am offering resistance to where there is none. There's no resistance, but my needing to have it a certain way, or my focus to it, is creating that resistance. Wanted or unwanted, it doesn't matter. It's still resistance. So when I let it go, it was able to move into flow. And that's part of what we're needing to look at. We're needing to look at where we have played in patterns and cycles and habits that have kept us stuck in our own personal wounding. And maybe, the wounds are that we're not enough, or we don't matter. Or, if you look at the bigger picture with everything in the government, you might be feeling like you don't have a say, right? Nothing you do is going to make a difference. I don't have a say. I don't have any power. I don't have any control, right? And then what are we doing? We're diminishing ourselves and plummeting right back into 3D, which is where we don't want to be. And it's all the illusion. It's the illusion of the reality that's out there, that's playing out. And when we stop giving attention to it, when we stop giving focus to it, we take that power back, and we don't have to play in that game anymore. Everything can change. It all shifts, because it's just the illusion. But we have to get that clear in our head that it's just the illusion, because to us, the way we were birthed in, we think it's real. It seems real. It looks real. The field is pixelated, and it's created, form. And the form it's created is interacting with us. And if we're not careful, we're offering resistance, and it's uncomfortable. So when we decide that we're not going to play in it anymore, we can heal that part of it and come into our own personal power, healing ourselves, right? Because if you look out into, the spiritual dogma, the spiritual communities that's out there, everybody is talking about, oh, come work with me. I can heal this. I can heal that. I can do this. I could do that. It's all well and good. And there are people that need that. There are people that need to go to someone and have that person take power, take control, take charge of healing for them. And I don't judge that. I don't have a problem with that. There is a place for that, and people need that, right? But for me, I'm all about self-empowerment. And I'm going to tell you, the best healer for you is you. It's not me, it's you. I can give you information, and I can help you maybe formulate better understanding to what is. But at the end of the day, you have to be the one to choose to have the healing. When I was doing Reiki back in 2000, I was coming across so many situations where people would get on my table, and the energy was so high they would pass out and not participate in their healing at all. And they would have to come back week after week, month after month, because they weren't participating. They weren't receiving. They were looking for somebody else outside of themselves to heal them. And that's not how any of that works. That's not how any healing modality works, right? It's you being a good receiver to what is. So this is a time where the wounds may become more apparent, and you may be feeling that more, and you may be seeing it more, as I mentioned earlier, and maybe, what's playing out in the government, thinking like, I don't have power, I don't have control, my voice isn't going to make a difference. And now you're feeling powerless and you're not feeling in control. And maybe that's striking a wound where you're not feeling like you're enough, right? Or somebody has more power over you. And that's the game that we play with ourselves over and over and over and over again. It's built into the matrix that way. It's built into the earth game that way. It's built into the planetary consciousness that way. But it's not our truth. It's just what we came here to experience. And then we came in to make the decision, are we playing in the matrix or outside the matrix? Are we opting out of the matrix and trying to create outside of the matrix? That might be a little uncomfortable. And then we have to look at ourselves and say, in order to create outside of the matrix, it's uncomfortable. I've never been able to do that before. I think I might have to get rid of and remove from my field and from my thoughts and my patterns and my cycles of abuse, limitation and restriction and guilt. Feeling guilty for wanting to do something different, feeling guilty for being different, feeling guilty for not wanting to play in the old storylines. Maybe that's the choice that we have to make if we want something different, if we want to exit the matrix programming. If we're not okay with the things that we're seeing taking place out there in the outer illusion, well, then we have to opt out. We have to make the choice to do that because nobody's going to do that for us, right? We have to step out of it. It looks like it's never going to end. We look at it and go, oh my God, this is never going to end. It's going to go on forever and ever. Well, it will end. The minute you decide it ends, you end it. It doesn't have to end out there. You end it. We end it. So that's really what this time is about. It's healing our own personal wounds so that we can step forward. It's not about anybody healing us or saving us from anything. We have to see beyond the limitations that we self-imposed, beyond the restrictions that are self-imposed, and move out of guilt so that we can move forward in our lives and start looking at what it is that we came here to do. What do we want to do? Who do we want to really be? Who do we want to be? Maybe our parents wanted us to be something different. Our parents wanted to be a doctor, a lawyer. Maybe our parents wanted us to follow in their footsteps and do whatever career they were doing, right? Or if you had parents like I had, my parents didn't really want me to do that. My mother was a hairdresser and she didn't really want me to become a hairdresser. So they decided I should go to college. And thank God I did that. Thank God I did go to college. Did I use my degree? No, but it does help me in my work. And when I started to open to my intuition, my background in medical laboratory technology and disease diagnosis and all that went along with that really helped to make me feel empowered in what was coming through for me and feel confident within myself that, I knew what was going on. So maybe we're not doing what we set out to do initially, but in some way, shape, or form, it's supporting us in other ways. Thank God I worked for the corporation that I worked for many, many years. And I was in the world of banking for many, many years. And I aspired to the level of management. Thank God for that, because I had to do speaking engagements and I had to hold meetings and speak in front of vice presidents and all of that, which really helped me learn how to speak in front of people. So thank God for all of that, because without that, I might not have decided to teach or do the classes I'm doing or do the work that I'm doing or even have a YouTube channel, right? Possibly not. But when we look at who we want to become and we start putting that best foot forward, everything in our life can change and it can become magical. But we have to get out of the distortion that this is all there is, because that's a lie. It's not our truth. We came here to make the magic, to figure out how the magic works and then make the magic. Okay. So then what I also want to talk about, the next thing that I want to talk about is these energies. And one of the things that is important to know about managing this shift and the time that we're in is that I've talked about this in other videos in the past where we're in solar maximum and how things are really amplifying in the cosmos, right? And the sun is really stepping into its power in so many ways, but like all of us shedding at the same time too. And if you think of the sun as having these mini volcanic eruptions on the sun, spewing out things like CMEs, which are, like little purges, it would be like, the sun burping or expelling some sneezing or something like that, right? It's expelling energy onto us. And sometimes that energy is focused directly on the side of the sun that faces the earth, and then we feel it the strongest. And if it's on a side of the sun that's not facing the earth, we're not going to feel it as strongly. But that's when we are encountering things like CMEs, we're encountering M-class flares. And now the latest thing is the new X-class flare, right? And those X-class flares are super, super potent and super powerful. I hadn't been affected by anything for many, many years, right? No headaches, no eye strain, no nothing. And then all of a sudden we had an X-class flare and I was getting a headache and my eyes were wonky and I was like, what is going on? And then I had to sit into that. And then, of course, I saw something that said, we have an all new X-class flare. And I was like, oh gosh, that makes so much sense because of how I'm feeling. And I know that lately some of you are feeling it in what is transpiring with these. We'll have an X-class flare and then we'll have 3 M-class flares at the same time, or we're having X-class flares every single day with M-class flares. Stuff that's unheard of. We used to have this every once in a while, and you would like kind of prepare for the flare because you knew that there was going to be a flare at some point, right? No, now it's every single day because everything has changed. And it's really triggering the pain body where we're feeling our deepest wounding, our deepest pain. So if we're not letting go of those wounds that we carry, that we've been carrying for generations, that are generationally imprinted to us, that we keep recycling with the karmic loop cycle on the earth, well, then we're going to feel the pain in the body. And until we're ready to let go, we're just going to keep feeling that pain. And it's going to get stronger and it's going to get worse and it's going to get more uncomfortable until we make the decision that we want to shift. We want to shift it. Okay. And so expect the headaches, the neck pain, because that's where the codes enter, the light codes enter in the neck. They are taken in by the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is the transportation. Vagus nerve runs from the neck into the groin. So you may end up with bodily pain. You may end up with pain in your arms, in your hands, in your legs, in your hips, in your stomach. You may end up with heart palpitations, or like some of you are, you could end up going down with the flu, right? Flu, frequency, light upgrades. For those that don't know, please watch my video, which I will link below. If they're not ascension symptoms, what are they? Because I explain a lot in there. But you're going offline because your body needs to upgrade, right? Your body needs to have an adjustment. And one of the reasons that we're in the strongest cycles right now of this, these geomagnetic storms, right? It's consistent storming now. It's like we're in a window, we're in a belt that we can expect heightened sun everything. And it's not like the olden days back when we first started our ascension back in 2012, where we would be in photonic light for a while and then it would shift and we'd be in plasma for a while and then it would shift and we'd be in gamma for a while and then we go back to photonic light. It's not like that anymore. Now we're having it all at one time. We're having gamma, plasma, photonic light, diamond light, crystalline light. We're having all of it activating all at once. And I know that many of you are feeling it. You're feeling it through panic attacks and anxiety, heightened anxiety. The light body is activating, and when the light body activates, that activation is Kundalini activation, and it streams from the root chakra area all the way up to the heart chakra and all the way up through the crown. And so when you are having these panic attacks, the best thing that you could do is to sit down, take nice breaths, remind yourself it is only a byproduct of your light body activating, and you are not having a panic attack, you're having a light body upgrade. And what I suggest you do is you sit back, you close your eyes, and you start breathing in deeply. And when you breathe that breath out, instead of breathing it out or imagining you're breathing it out, I want you to imagine that you're breathing the breath down through your body, all the way down into your root chakra. And as you're breathing that breath into your root chakra, I want you to imagine your root chakra expanding. Okay. The reason that we have things like panic attacks and anxiety when the light body is activating, or we have these Kundalini activations, is because most people are walking around in a state of constriction. Okay, so when we're having the shift from photonic light, which is expansion, whoosh, blows the field out. We get hot. It's like having a hot flash, right? There's no reason for it. And then after we're done expanding consciousness, we shrink in and we go into contraction. And it's like the body huddles within itself and it contracts. And when it contracts, sometimes it forgets to straighten out again. So if we're focused on, and we can use the root chakra, if we're focused on things like survival, we still look at the outer reality, which is the illusion with fear. We're afraid there's going to be this, we're afraid there's going to be that, they're telling us this, they're telling us that. Then we're creating survival issues in our root chakra. We're in fight or flight. We are challenging ourselves with the right to exist. And when we're doing that, instead of our chakra flowing out and open, our chakra shrinks up and becomes shriveled up, and there's no energy center. It's not functioning properly. And then the body, the physical body, the human gets triggered because the energy is not operating in its fullness, you see. So the way that we can work with that is to remind ourselves, and maybe you're someone that has occasional panic attacks or anxiety. Make a practice of it, a daily practice of it, to sit down, close your eyes, tune into your body, and blow that breath in and start expanding. And you could do this with all of your chakras. Just work with all of them and expand them out, right? This way your energy is being supported. You are supporting yourself. And what is that doing for you? That's taking back your power. That's you taking back your power, okay? That's you healing those wounds, those cycles of abuse. Because we are activating the divine feminine. We are activating our ability to heal. We're activating our ability for creation. And we are now balancing our divine masculine, divine feminine. So what better way to do that than to do a little breath work and sit and tune in and give our body what it is so desperately needing, okay? So one of the reasons that we're having all of these experiences, especially with the panic attacks and light body activations, is that we are in a time of death and rebirth. We went into death and rebirth cycle in April when we had the solar eclipse in Aries, which is a fire sign, and that kicked off the energies of the phoenix, which is also the dragon, right? So we're activating the cosmic dragon energies on the earth and within ourselves, and we're activating the phoenix energy within ourselves. And if you know anything about the story of the phoenix, you know that the phoenix would set itself on fire so that it could die and be reborn, rebirthed, so that it could transform itself into something new. Well, that's what we're all doing. We are all transforming ourselves into something new, into something more powerful, into something greater, okay? And we have to remind ourselves that we are always in control and we are more powerful than we think we are. So if you are feeling this, you're right in time. Now, I will tell you that many of you could be experiencing death in your dreams, and you're thinking that that's a sign that you're going to really die in real life. And I'm going to tell you that that is not true, that you're experiencing your phoenix rising, your cosmic dragon, your death and rebirth cycle in your dream, because it would be too traumatic during your waking states to experience that. Some of you may have thoughts like something's going to happen and you're dying. Or maybe you're going through a flu upgrade and you're in bed and you feel so sick, you feel like you're going to die, right? That's all this death and rebirth to transformation energy that we are working through. So, I am going to trust that this is going to be received and it's information that you're going to find helpful to you. I am so happy and joy-filled that I was able to connect with everybody here today in this moment, because we haven't been able to do that in a while. My schedule has just been very hectic. I really am hoping to come on more than not and do these little updates, but there's just there's only so much I can do in a day, and by the time the end of the day comes, it's just not possible. So know that even though I haven't been here, I'm thinking of you always, always. You're always in my mind, you're always in my heart. Know that I love you so, so very much, and I wish you a wonderful whatever it is that you're going to be doing today, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Okay, take care. Bye bye. I love you.